Well, the company's own forecast is one important starting point, or that is really the management case. But then when you go from the management case into your own case, then you use a variety of input factors. And I think understanding the overall industry development, both the macroeconomic environment and the industry development is important, because if you know or if you have a high confidence that the industry is growing at a certain rate, let's say 3%, then other things being equal, if the company just maintains its market share and everything, it would grow at 3%. But then you have to start understanding that or figuring out where are the genuine opportunities for it to grow faster, or where is it lagging behind its peers, and then go into more granularity. And I think the revenue build-up is one of the key important points about the valuation, and then you break up the company's revenue streams into the business units that it has, maybe on the product level, maybe on a geographical level, and then if possible you would look at each one one by one, because maybe they have a hit product which is selling and growing very, very rapidly. They have another product line which is declining. It's already been sort of phased out. They have one country where they're growing very rapidly and gaining market share. Then they have one country where they're in difficulties. So that's where the granularity comes in, and that's why like I said, it may take up to a month to do this work, and requiring a bunch of people. And that's what these people would do when forecasting the revenues as a starting point.
Again, it depends. Like how you build your forecast model depends on very much on the company. In many cases, it is very difficult to define the market and market shares. That's actually quite rare where you can define exactly what's the market and what's the market share of each. In some companies, you can build a really detailed model on how the sales are where the sales comes from, and in some cases it is really difficult. You just have the top line and you have to estimate some kind of growth based on the company's forecast and the market fundamentals and market growth. Then of course the head of research and the colleagues have really important role on questioning the analyst's forecast and challenging them. The analyst needs to have really good arguments on why am I estimating this and these numbers for the company. Because if you don't have those arguments, then your recommendation is not very credible.
Usually I think that it's better to start from kind of from the current business case and say that, okay, this is the way we scale it, instead of kind of starting from the global population and saying that, okay, we are going to get 1% of that.
If there is a small mistake in every single assumption, but multiplying those and multiplying etc. results in a very big mistake in the end result. Right. Yeah. And there the top-down approach is more a sanity check.
Usually the starting situation is bottom up. So, right. But of course you have to have the industry and the relevant peers and what they are doing as a kind of sanity check.
If we have an access to company and if we could get the kind of bottom-up data, we could well use that. That could be the starting point. Right. But then you need to somehow link the kind of overall aspect of the market to the valuation. So basically verifying what you then get from the bottom-up approach, right. That it makes sense from the market share perspective, for example, or that kind of other kind of macro level.
As mentioned, we often get a forecast from the sponsors, so we look at the figures they forecast for the company, then we try to see it in the context of the market, of the country, of the whatever is a relevant region. Right.
If we work from kind of outside and behind our table, then of course we need to rely on the kind of publicly available information and try to work with with that one to the extent possible. And then of course if we're in an insider position, then of course we have a chance to challenge all the numbers and have more thorough discussion around them. So it very much depends on the case we have.